you to make sure that you can, if there's anything you can do to help with the spacing. So when they get to the end, they will split away from their partner to do a crisscross. Crisscross, they're going to pass through every other. In this particular crisscross, Madison's side, over here, if you wave Madison, they'll cross in front, because setting up for the next maneuver, their side will be crossing on the outside. So kind of planning ahead so that both lines can kind of line up evenly for the following maneuver. So paying attention to their spacing, single file, straight behind the horse in front of them without crowding their spacing. They don't want to have to slam on the brakes, so all of a sudden have to hit the gas pedal. So they're planning ahead for what's to come next. So that would just be a simple left shoulder pass right there in front of the gate. Now they're riding up the long rails, and we would call this next maneuver a charge, or a charge side to side. And so they're going to simply just pass through with the opposite side, left shoulder. 90% of your passes in drill team are left shoulder, similar to driving. So when they reach the other rail, they're going to split away, and they'll do another left shoulder pass, but this one will be at the top and bottom. Your gate is always your bottom, and then the opposite of the gate would be called the top. So even as they're passing with their group on their end, they're also watching to coordinate with the opposite group. So they all reach their corners at the same time, and this next maneuver will be a box. So we call it a box because we'll have 4 riders in the middle of the arena at the same time, and it closes up and looks like a little box for about half a second, and as they pass through. After the box, they're going to grapevine. Grapevine simply means every other, filing in to a single file line down the center. And from here, it looks like they're going to run into each other, but at the last second, they do what we call a cinnamon roll, where they swirl away and form a full team circle. And in the full team circle, they're looking again at the spacing in front of them, behind them, and across from them. So since there's an even number, they're going to be across from somebody else on the opposite side of the circle. And then they're going to pull it into a pinwheel. Just about can't have a drill pattern without a pinwheel. That's kind of one of the crowd pleasers here. And so everybody here on the pinwheel is watching the outermost riders because they are traveling the farthest. So they'll have the highest speed. As you can see in the middle, the 2 right there pivoting, they're just barely creeping around. Everybody's looking left shoulder, looking left and right to stay together. Here they're transitioning into what we call a full team sweep. And in the sweep, everybody's riding nose to knee. So your horse's nose is lined up with the kneecap of the rider ahead of you. Again, as you're going around, your front rider, people in the front are going to be going faster around the corners, while the people in the back are actually slowing down around the corners. And then it flips, coming down a straight rail. Your front riders would slow down a little bit, and your back riders would speed up a little bit so you don't get this accordion effect in your sweep. From here, they're going to turn it into pairs and then to a simple heart, which means they're going to kind of form from almost like the bottom of a heart. Notice how they split away from each other right here. And then they'll come together to form a chevron. Chevron, also known as an arrow. This too is a nose to knee maneuver. So the front 2 rider are a pair, and then everybody else off of them would be nose to knee. So you get this pretty arrow as it charges on down to the arena here. And then from here, they'll file around from the back riders to pair up and exit. So they kind of fan out, they burst around, circle around, find their pair, and exit. And again, looking for spacing in front of them and behind them, making sure that they are riding right with their pair. So, as you can see, there's a lot that is going on. And so, main part of the safety is